Hey, it's me. It's been a while since I've made a video, but here I am in my new van. Yay! And I can explain that story later, but this is the YouTube channel where I tell you non-fictional stories that have happened in my life, and they're real. They really happened to me. But I tell the story, and you get to decide for yourself if you believe them or if you don't believe them. This one is not too mystical. It's pretty tragic. I wanted to finally tell the story about how I was deeply, deeply traumatized the first time I really went to jail. Okay, here we go. This was back in 2013, and I had just had my baby girl, and so my second baby, and I had her C-section. And after that, I was in and out of the hospital because I was sick a lot and I didn't understand why. I was just throwing up and had a temperature all the time. And finally, about 4 weeks after my C-section, and I wasn't healing right, my OB-GYN did a whatever it's called, ultrasound, sorry. And she saw that there was material still in my uterus that was left behind from the surgery that the doctors didn't get. And so she had scheduled, 4 days later, she had scheduled a DNR or DNC. I don't remember what I think it's called DNC, DNR, do not resuscitate. No, she didn't schedule that. She scheduled a DNC, which is where they go in and they just kind of suction everything out of there that was left behind, right? Well, my husband and I were fighting a lot lately, and up till then, because I didn't feel well, and, I was trying to soothe my pain by drinking alcohol, which was, always my downfall because I was a bad alcoholic, like I had mentioned, for about 15 years, 20 years almost. And so, one night I was drinking and we got in a fight, and I threw rocks at our door, and the neighbor saw me and called the cops, and I got arrested for domestic violence because she said that she could hear us yelling, and then when the cops walked up, they saw me throw a rock at the door, so I was pretty screwed there. So then I went to jail for the night and got out the next morning, and then my husband and I got in a fight again, and I chucked the phone at him, and he called the cops, and I got arrested again, and I went into Aurora City Jail, and I was still bleeding a lot, from the C-section, from my problems that I had from it. I was still bleeding, and I was having a smell about me because, there was that material inside of me that was getting rotten, it was starting to rot and I know this is nasty, I'm sorry, but it has to be told. And it stunk, and I didn't know how long I was going to be in jail for. Like, I thought, I could be out the next day, but no. 3 days passed while I'm in Aurora City, and I pled. See, and I thought that, I would get a PR bond, but since I had gotten a domestic violence 2 days prior, they wouldn't give me a PR bond. So instead, they set my bond at like $1,500 or something like that, $1,000 or something. So it would have been $100 to get me out, But I didn't really have any family or friends that really, cared about what I was going through at the time. They didn't know my side of the story. My husband had the gift of gab, if you will. He talked better than I did, and I just let him blame me for everything because I just figured if anyone knows me or if anyone wants to know the true story, they'll ask me, and I'll just tell them the truth, and they'll come to, if they don't, but no one ever came to me and asked me. They just believed what he said, and I totally was taken aback by that. But anyways, so, they transport me to Arapahoe County Jail, which is which I am not prejudiced at all or anything, but it is mostly Black American females, and I was probably one of 3 white girls in there. And you know how people are like in jail and lockup facilities, they kind of do their little race thing. They bunch off into different races, basically, so it's like, and I didn't want to bunch off with any race, and no race wanted me to bunch off with them because I was the nasty, stinky girl, because I didn't have anybody put money on my books. I didn't have any money to put on my books, which means putting on your books means that a family member or someone that cares about you can add money to your account online, and you can buy things on Sunday that you need, like shampoo, conditioner, lotion, soap, toothpaste, toothbrush, stuff, a brush for your hair, stuff that you need and that they don't supply for you when you go to jail. Because when you go to jail, they supply one little bar of soap that is like, has no smell to it, and it is basically just a bar of soap that doesn't have any smell, and that's all they give you. And they give you this little, like, I don't know, this bristleless toothbrush thing, and then like one of those straight combs, like the really tiny ones that break easy, and I could not even get it through my hair for one brush. And I tried for many a nights and days until I found a way to just put my hair into a knot and then just and just leave it there, and finally a girl showed me how to make a hair tie out of my socks, and then I got in trouble for having that in my hair. The CO ripped it out of my hair, and this isn't beauty school, and ripped it out of my hair. And I'm like, what the heck? She's like, and you damaged our socks, you're gonna have to pay for those. And she's like, $15 a piece or something. But anyways, so as the time went on, my body was acting up more and more. I saw the nurse and she gave me ibuprofen. Yay. She gave me a 3-day regimen so I could get it 4 times a day for 3 days. And I could only get 2 at a time, which was awful, but it helped a little bit because it's better than nothing, right? And they only give you a certain amount of pads. So I had to try to use like toilet paper and stuff, and just oh my God, it was so horrible. And I got like 3 pads a day, and I pushed the button, and they're like, this better be an emergency. And I'm like, it is, I'm bleeding everywhere. Like, they're like, someone hit you? No. But my lady stuff is bleeding everywhere. I have something's rotten inside of me. And they're like, we don't see that on your paperwork. And I'm like, I told the nurse when I came in, and she said, there's nothing we can do about it. You'll just have to take care of it when you get out. And she's like, you'll be out soon, and da 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 da. And I'm like, no, you don't know my family. You don't know. I have no friends. You don't know. Like, no one cares about me. I won't be out until the judge lets me out. And still not knowing when I could be out. And the judge had set my court case for like 32 days later, which would have been fine if I was on bond. I wouldn't have cared. I would have been like, yay, extend it longer. But that's not what happened. What happened was people were like picking on me and just like, God, she stinks, and just like, why the fuck do you stink so bad? And I just cry. I couldn't really tell anybody everything that happened, because whatever. And I was rubbing orange peels on my body, on my skin, to try to make myself smell better. I was taking 4 or 5 showers a day, which is in Arapahoe County is embarrassing, because in there, the COs, they have their little room. It's up above, and so it looks down into the women's dorms or cells, whatever you want to call them. And the shower is right up front, so they just look right down into the shower at you, and they just watch you. And it's so humiliating. It's so disgusting and humiliating. And I cried every time. And I just freaking hated it. Like, the male deputies, they could just sit up there and watch you, and that should not be like that. They should not be able to do that kind of stuff. But, who am I, right? I'm just a stupid freaking prisoner or whatever there, And I tried to take a shower upstairs one time, and the girls yelled at me, and then they're like, your cell is on the bottom floor. You don't take a shower up here. You take a shower down there. And I'm like, but I don't like being down there. The guards can see right in. Oh, the guards can see right in. And they're making fun of me and whatever. And one time I remember taking a shower, and the girl wanted the chair that I was using, because you have to use a chair to put your scrubs on, or whatever they're called, your fucking oranges on, blues there, um, to put your clothes on. And so she wanted the chair to go play spades, and so she dumped all my clothes on the shower floor, and they got all soaked, and my towel was soaked, and I had to put on everything wet, and then walk through the main thing where everyone's staring at me, making fun of me, like, like, she's not gonna do anything about it. She's not gonna do anything about it. And I just, like, was traumatized, because I was just counting the days down, and nobody would bond me out, and I just had to convince myself, because otherwise I would have went crazy. I had to convince myself that my husband wanted to get me out. I knew in my heart that he didn't, but because he was the one that put me there. But I had to convince myself that he wanted to get me out, and that he was at home. He paid the rent. He's taking care of everything. He's got my car. He's taking care of everything. He had my car all right. He got my car that I worked so hard for years before him. He got that taken away because he put diesel plates on it, and then was driving 65 and a 35, and then he didn't have a license, and the state cops made him give up the car or whatever, and they said he could get it out of bond out of impound, but he never did. And then he never paid the rent. I was the one that made him pay rent, because I'm like, come on, you got to pay rent. We got to pay rent. It was only $550. That was a good deal, for a 1-bedroom in Aurora. He didn't pay rent. He took everything that I owned, and he gave it to whoever he met on Plenty of Fish. He met some chick, and he got her pregnant while I was in the jail, And yes, that means that my daughter Willow has a little sister. She's just a sister. I totally almost forgot about that. I'm gonna have to tell Willow before she sees this video. But that was pretty damn traumatizing, And finally, one of the girls started talking to me, and she finally heard my story, and she was like, "Oh my God, you poor thing! Like, you just went through all this stuff, and then you come in here, and everybody's just so cruel to you." So she was nice to me, and then she ended up, like, talking bad about me to our other cellmate, because she moved into my cell and stuff and tried to help me out, she said. And then she was stealing our other cellmate's lotion, and then blaming it on me. And I'm like, I wouldn't steal your stuff. I'm like, I know, like, you see how much I go through, like, that I don't have anything to do. She's like, that's why you would steal it. And I'm like, no, that's why I wouldn't steal it. You can tell that I didn't steal it. I'm suffering because I don't want to ask anybody for anything, and because I don't know anyone, and they don't even like sharing with their friends in here, So, on, like, the Sunday before I got out, because I was in there for about 30 days at the time. It was 28 days, and it was a Sunday, and then my court date was on Tuesday. And the Sunday before that, before my court date, one of the girls was like, comes to my cell and brings me a little bag, and she's like, "Merry Christmas, Ari." And it had, like, one of those medicine cups that you get, like, with Robitussin. was one of those full of shampoo, and then one full of conditioner, and then a couple of Fireballs and Jolly Ranchers. And I was so happy and excited to get that. I ran and took a shower really quick, and I mean, it helped a little bit. And then she tried to braid my hair um, for court, and she was taking like chunks out of my hair because you couldn't brush it. It was so knotted up and so freaking nasty. And then like that night they came and grabbed me and told me that I had to go to Aurora City to go to court, and they made me take my hair out and stuff. And then I get to court, and the judge said, "Time served. You can go home today." And I found a new pep in my step, and I was just like excited. I was chained to my wrists were chained to my belt, and my belt was chained to my ankles, and I was walking with all the guys because I was the only girl that had court, and then there was like 4 or 5 guys, and I was doing dance, and I was so happy. I was like, I'm out, I'm out, I'm out. And then we get back to our cells in Aurora City, and I have to wait until they transfer me back to Arapahoe County. And then I go to Arapahoe County, and somebody had gone through all my stuff there and stole all my stuff. But I was like, you know what? F you people. I don't care. I'm out of here. And they called my name, and I fell to the ground, and they were like, well, you better come because we're not going to call your name again until after dinner if you don't come now. And I was like, I don't care about any of that stuff. I was like, I'm out, I'm out, I'm out. And I grabbed all my stuff, threw it in the tote, and I ran up to the door, and then had to wait there for like 20 minutes. I'm like, are you kidding me? Come on, you said I'm out. And then they put me in a holding cell to get changed out to my clothes, which my clothes didn't fit me. It was like, some scrubs that I had on when I went in, some dirty panties. Oh God. And a shirt, like a spaghetti strap shirt, no bra. And then I had to wait there for them to look around and make sure I had no more warrants anywhere, which they should have done before they said you're free, because that's messed up, because they do that to so many freaking people. It's so sad to watch that happen to people. A girl did 8 years in prison, and then she was on the bus home thinking that she was going home, and they took her to Adams County, and they had her in the holding cell, and they told her that she still had a warrant in Adams County because she was in prison. And they didn't combine any of that stuff. They waited till she was almost out, and then they said she couldn't have court until the next Tuesday. So she had to sit in there from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and wait and wait. And it's just so terrible to do that to someone. And she's like, my daughter and my niece and my sister are all waiting for me at the bus station, and I'm not going to get off the bus. And it was just like a very sad thing. And they do that to people so much. It's so horrible, but I was thanking God I didn't have any warrants, and they let me go, and they gave me one bus pass. And when I hit those doors, I ran. I didn't walk, I freaking ran. I was like, which way is the bus stop? As I was passing somebody, they're like, it's over there. And I ran to that bus stop, and the bus pulled up in like 2 minutes, and I got on that bus, and I was like, I'm free, I'm free, I'm free. I'm out, I'm out, I'm out. And I was like, now what? Now where am I going to go? What? This was like, I didn't have a cell phone because my husband and I shared a cell phone then. He had my car. He got rid of that. I didn't have a home anymore. I didn't have anything when I got out. I had no money. So I went to the public library in Aurora, right next to the cop shop that I was just at, like earlier that day. Or no, yeah, earlier that day I had court, and I was just there. And I sat there at the library like, this is ridiculous, So I went online, and I met some guy, who ended up being my friend, New York Dave. God rest his soul. He's deceased now. He died back in 2019, the summer of 2019. Freaking sad, dude. But he ended up being my good friend. But then I didn't know him, and we had just met on Plenty of Fish, and he was like, "You can come stay at my house." I'm like, "I don't know you, how do I know you're not going to take advantage of me or something?" And he's like, "Why would I do that?" He's like, "I have plenty of female friends. If I want to get with them, I'll get with them, but I'm not going to take advantage of some girl that I barely know." And so I chose not to do that, but he did come um, out to the library and he gave me some goodies and stuff, and some cheese and some Diet Pepsi, because that's what my drink was at the time, and I was craving cheese. And he gave me a block of cheese and some Diet Pepsi, and then like he took off, and I talked to my sister, the one that's closest in age to me, Danya. I talked to her, and she's like, "Hang on, let me talk to my ex-husband and see if you can go stay with him for the night or whatever." And he was like, "Yeah, sure, we'll go pick her up." And they came all the way from Thornton, and they came and got me. And then I stayed the night there. And then I contacted my mother, and she was like, "Look, you can't stay with me until you go to like some kind of treatment or whatever." And so my only option was to go to treatment. And I'm like, I have no clothes. I have nothing. Like, Jeremy Golden, my husband, ex-husband now, had given all my clothes and everything I owned to some female that he met, like I said before. And so I finally got to see my daughter that I hadn't seen, in over a month. And that was one of the hardest parts of being in jail that long. I didn't get to hear how my daughter was doing. She was a newborn. I didn't get to hold her. And when her face lit up when she saw me and heard my voice, and my heart just melted, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this for you. And, and after putting her to bed and stuff, I went and I took a bath for like an hour. And I was just like, man. But it was so traumatic, and it didn't end there, because then I had a new, that was just a pause in my horrifying adventure, like it was a nice place to take a break in this video, to take a break, or, and to make a new video after this. But, so, I mean, that was very traumatizing to me, and like that time and my 6th time or 5th time going to jail were the two most traumatizing times I've ever had. And that's why I don't break the law, that's why I don't do anything like that. And that's why I stay away from men that are poisonous. Men that say, if you don't do this way, then I'm telling your family, or I'm telling your mom. Or, they try to control you by using people that you love to control you and to hurt you. And when he was like, I'm going to make sure that our baby's taken away from you, and I'm going to make sure that this and that and this and that, when he would say those things to me, he was doing it to hurt me, to control me. And that is the type of people that I'll stay away from for the rest of my life. All right, well, peace be with you, and have a good night. And I hope that this didn't make any of you cry. Made me cry a little bit, even though it was almost 10 years ago. Have a good night.